Elijah was no ordinary prophet. He was a man who called down fire from heaven, outran royal chariots, and stood fearless against an entire kingdom. His story begins in a time of darkness, when Israel had turned its back on God, led astray by a wicked king and an even more dangerous queen. But Elijah, he was the voice that refused to be silenced. Imagine walking into the royal palace uninvited, standing before the most powerful man in the land, and declaring a drought that would last for years, simply because God said so. That's exactly what Elijah did to King Ahab. And just like that, the heavens closed. No rain, no dew, nothing. Israel became a land of cracked earth and withering crops, and the king was furious. While the kingdom suffered, God hid Elijah by a brook where ravens, yes, actual birds, brought him food every day. But when the brook dried up, God sent him to a widow in Zarephath. She had nothing, just a handful of flour and a bit of oil. Yet, when Elijah told her to bake him a loaf of bread first, something miraculous happened. Her flour and oil never ran out. For days, weeks, months. But Elijah wasn't done. When the widow's son fell sick and died, she blamed Elijah. He took the boy in his arms, cried out to God, and the child gasped back to life. The same God who closed the heavens could also bring back the dead. 3 years passed, and then came the moment of reckoning. Elijah confronted King Ahab once again, challenging the prophets of Baal to a showdown on Mount Carmel. 450 prophets stood against one man. The rules? Simple. 2 altars, 2 sacrifices, no fire. The God who answered with fire from heaven. He alone would be God. From morning till evening, the prophets of Baal danced, shouted, and even cut themselves, begging their God to send fire. Nothing happened. Then Elijah stepped forward. He rebuilt the Lord's altar, dug a trench around it, and did the unthinkable. He drenched the entire sacrifice in water. And then, with a simple prayer, fire exploded from the heavens, consuming everything: the sacrifice, the wood, even the stones and water. The people fell on their faces, crying, "The Lord, He is God." But Elijah wasn't done yet. He commanded the false prophets to be seized and put to death. Then he turned back to Ahab and made another bold declaration. Get ready, rain is coming. The sky was clear, not a single cloud in sight. Yet Elijah climbed to the top of Mount Carmel, bowed down, and prayed. Nothing. He sent his servant to check the sky. Nothing. 6 times, nothing. But the 7th time, a small cloud, the size of a man's hand, began to rise from the sea. Elijah sent word to Ahab, "Hurry, before the storm stops you." And then, as the wind roared and the heavens burst open, Elijah did the impossible. The power of God came upon him, and he ran. Not just any run. He outran Ahab's royal chariot, speeding ahead of the horses all the way to Jezreel. But Jezebel was furious. When she heard what Elijah had done, she swore to kill him. And the fearless prophet, he ran again, but this time in fear. He fled into the wilderness, collapsing under a tree, ready to give up. But God wasn't done with him. An angel woke him, provided food, and sent him on a journey to Mount Horeb, where Elijah encountered God, not in fire, not in an earthquake, but in a gentle whisper. Elijah's mission was far from over. He anointed new kings and even his successor, Elisha. And then when his time came, Elijah did not see death like other men. Instead, a chariot of fire, drawn by fiery horses, swept him up into heaven in a whirlwind, as Elisha watched in awe. Elijah's life was a testament to one truth. When you walk with God, the impossible becomes reality. Fire falls, dead rise, and even the fastest chariots cannot outrun his power. If you found this story inspiring, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more incredible Bible stories. Let's keep the fire of faith burning.